I'm Jamie Blythe, and this is our farm in Courtland, Alabama. This farm was bought by my great-grandfather back in the 1890s, and my grandfather was the one who actually started farming. And so I'm the third generation and trying to follow in my dad's footsteps with, the regenerative agriculture and no-till cover crops. Trying to continue that ethic of being stewards of our land. Our home farm is around 1,000 acres and one beautiful block, and then we have 10 other landlords, and so I farm 3,000 acres total. Our soil is in general a bunch of high red hills that were pretty much decimated by 100 years of cotton in a row. We have a consistent rotation with wheat and double crop beans, followed by corn, full season beans. A lot depends on what kind of soil type we have and what's most appropriate for the soil type, and then also have to factor in landlord preferences as well. But that is our general rotation. I also incorporate cover crops and cattle grazing on a lot of our acres as well in the wintertime. So where we don't have wheat, I do try to graze cattle and grow the cattle crop as well. Our organic matter is, that is our primary focus, and all of our management decisions, that's the only way this farm's going to be profitable, to make money on this farm, to keep the farm going. If we don't have our organic matter slowly, steadily increasing, we're not going to be able to keep the farm going. So every decision we make as far as, utilizing no-till cover crops, all of, sound fertility management, that is what we're trying to achieve, is increasing our organic matter slowly but surely. We started using research 3 years ago now, and I've been really pleased with it. I've been slowly building up the rate that we're putting out every year. As I said, we are focused on building organic matter. So research is one of the puzzle pieces to put in there with, along with no-till, along with cover crops and sound fertility management. I think the research is just going to amplify those decisions that we're making. I have seen the difference when we've done some test strips in our crops, and there's a visual difference right away, and you see that visual difference, and it makes you feel like, okay, I am on the right track. I can see something, that I can pinpoint, that there is a difference. Of course we can see it on our yield maps as well, but that early season green growth that we get out of it, and seeing the difference between where we have the research and where we don't have it, you're making the right decision, you're on the right track, it's worth that money per acre. I've been managing for a decade and a half now, but I also grew up on this farm, so 46 years of living on this land. There have been, sudden massive changes that we see with the landscape, but also more importantly, the small incremental changes that I can look back and say, 10 years ago, that land wasn't as productive. We used to not be able to grow crops on these high bald red hills, and then all of a sudden, they're back in productivity. Having a greater focus on the soil microenvironments, that has been a tremendously different strategy that, it wasn't around when I was a child. So that's been a wonderful thing to see, treating each acre as its own entity. And so I think we have a lot more intimate relationship with our land as farmers now. We have the ability to analyze down to, the smallest nutrient, the smallest, acreage. So that's been a great change in our mindset and the way that we farm. And I do see the land being so much more productive. The wildlife population that is so healthy out here that was not here when I was a child. We have turkey and deer and bald eagles and all the predator-prey interactions that are part of a healthy ecosystem, and that didn't exist when I was a child on this land, and now it's here. And I think it's because our land is healthier. It supports all populations down to the microenvironment. You dig up the soil and it's alive. Personal challenges that every farmer goes through is, trying to have that life-work balance. I'm a single mom with 2 kids, and trying to get my kids up and dressed every morning for school, but also manage the farm and make sure I'm making the right decisions as far as, managing the business side, managing the land health, keeping my employees happy as well. We're all a big team here, and having that holistic approach to the entire farming operation, be it family and work. That's the biggest challenge, is maintaining that balance and staying healthy. Farmers, I think, really struggle with the mental and physical health sometimes, and trying to have a focus on that so I can do a better job taking care of our land. So that's one of them, and then also, managing and encroaching urban development in this. I think we were this last bubble of beautiful rural land in northwest Alabama, trying to find that balance there between skyrocketing land prices, maintaining a good relationship with our landlords, trying to make long-term plans in terms of protecting our farming operations, protecting our acres is the other challenge right now. And then you also have, high interest rates and fertilizer prices and seed prices and everything else we have to pencil into our budget, and trying to eke out that net profit per acre right now is, that's a big challenge at the moment. The difference between my experience and that of my father and my grandfather, I don't think you could get much more different. Nowadays, there's so many more opportunities, coming from the perspective of a woman farmer, of a single mom as a farmer, that would not have been possible 50 years ago, 100 years ago, and it is now. I think that we have so many resources now, and such a safety net of help and assistance, be it agronomy assistance or financial advice. That has been an amazing change that I've seen in the farming industry, and this community, there could be a better community, I think, to have that work-life balance. It makes it easy for me to do what I do, and to keep this farm a healthy place and thriving, and to keep my family thriving. I think looking to all the help that we're surrounded by in this community has been one of the biggest blessings of farming here, and it's made it easy for me. I have a very different life than what my parents had, what my grandparents had on this farm, and it can be a lot more complicated, but it's one day at a time. It's working out. So far, so good. I love working with Helena salespeople. I have someone like Matt Kalame that I can pick up the phone and bother at any point in the day, several times a day. And as I was talking earlier, having this kind of safety net of support and advice is integral to having a healthy farming operation now. Without that network of advice and support, we could not farm in today's economy, today's climate. I think that Resurge, Hydrohume, they are a tremendous piece in this puzzle that we've created of trying to manage our soil fertility, take fertility the next step. Everyone talks about regenerative agriculture. There are so many variables that come into play with that, and Resurge is a tremendous variable there that I think can help us jumpstart our organic matter production. That's going to be the only way to keep farming in the future, is to focus on organic matter, to focus on the health of our soils, and Resurge is going to be one of the keys to that.